Live and direct, put it in perspective. Oh shit, live and direct. Whatever. Live and direct, put it in perspective. What's tonight? What's the Monday night? Night after Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the women out there, all the old earths, all the mamas, umis, abuelitas, tias, TTs, all that. We here, baby. What's good? Ray, what up, man?
Yo, first of all, man, you know we do this from Santo Domingo to Miami to Panama and back to Nueva York.
Yes, sir.
I'm doing good, man. We had a nice little DMX podcast last time.
Yes.
I think my boy told me not to reference that. My man, Matt, shout out to Matt, man. That's my dude. He actually
What'd he
listened to our
say?
show, critiqued it. He critiqued it. He was like, yo, stop referencing your old podcast. I'm like, I don't think that's a bad idea. Anyway, I love him. That's my dude. That's my
When
dude.
did you reference the old podcast?
I just did right now. I said we just did a DMX podcast. This nigga's crazy.
Oh no, I thought you was. I'm bugging. I'm tired. I'm drinking coffee here, so forgive me.
Hey, people.
Anyway, man, we did have something planned special tonight, but things happen, life happens. We're gonna save that for another time. I don't want to give it away yet. It's very it'd have been a very ill episode, especially the climate right now. We're going into the NBA playoffs, so we're gonna save that one for reserve. But me and Ray, we just kicking it tonight. I think we're gonna chop it up about a few topics. We ain't gonna go crazy. I know. I always want to do an episode like just explaining how we got here, bro. Like you know what I'm saying. We worked hard to get to this point, and this has not been easy to put this podcast together. Um, I'm just speaking from my perspective. I'm quite sure you feel the same way. It's been a long time coming. I mean, it's still early, but it feels like we've been doing this for a minute now. What do you think?
The podcast?
Yeah. I don't know. It feels like it's been longer than what it has been. Knowing it's not really, but it feels like that to me.
I know I still get like I used to get nervous, a little nervous.
Me too.
The record button comes on and the more you do it, it's just like anything else in life. The more you do it, the more I get used to it, but it's still it's going. It does feel longer than 3 months.
Yeah. Damn.
Hey,
It's only 3 months. 3 or 4 months now.
3 months. We're headed to 4 months in a couple of weeks, or maybe next week. I know the middle of January.
Yeah,
and
we definitely. Yeah.
A lot more Nets talk before Knicks talk, and then now it's just like, nigga, that's too many. That's too many podcasts.
Yo, listen, let me tell you something. Yo, we were really wilding out, man, when we first did this. But you know what? Yeah, we were trying to cover every damn Nets game, and it was working. But it just personal, family wise, like just schedule wise, work wise, it just was not gonna work. We couldn't do that a long time coming. I mean, I could see if just situations a little different, but nah, as is, it was no way.
And we got our feet wet. Like we learned look all the banner stuff, all this stuff. How we got everything, all these banners. Like our names is on here. I could put, this banner when we getting started.
See,
I didn't know how to do that before, and now that we interviewed Chris and Eddie.
Yeah.
For Christina and I, go cop that. I think it's available everywhere yet, or just Amazon and Audible, or Amazon.
I believe. I think in the next few weeks it's gonna be. I think by June it's gonna be everywhere.
It's June. The store,
Barnes and Noble.
And Barnes and Noble is gonna be available everywhere. As of right now, it's in Amazon and Kindle. So the Amazon products.
Yep.
Well, interviewing them, getting all these banners together and like getting the shakes out of it. Like you still feel like you have to say something because the microphone's on and everything. Like you don't want to sound stupid, but to be honest, that's the best thing to do. The best thing that's where we are right now. Like I was gonna say it earlier, but this is like where chat rooms were before. You could put up to 10 people. This is StreamYard. They don't give us no money for this. We're working on our Two Buddy link that's coming up next. Yo, shout out to Dorian82. Dorian82. He's the reason why I'm put onto a lot of stuff with this. I got on. I was skeptical about Two Buddy, but then he popped about
Yeah,
it nowhere and started talking about it.
yeah. I
And
seen the video.
yeah, and I'm just like, all right, if he said, because he seems real at the end of the day. He's very aggressive, but he sounds like me sometimes, but he's like ultra aggressive. But he's
Yeah,
hilarious. But beyond anything else, he's informative. Like he's telling you, like, yo, bro, did we? That's why I was talking to my wife earlier about like where we are in this country and how people just bitch and moan about whatever. People are dying. Like they want to build a wall, whatever side you stand on with that. People are climbing walls, going through tunnels, going through hoops, throwing their kids over that damn wall just to come to this country. Like this,
yeah,
it's a lottery ticket over here, and a lot of us first generation Americans, we fuck it up bad. Like you lose the immigrant mentality. Like just to go on YouTube and do this and have a chance to make bread. This is just
yeah.
you just gotta have even if you're shy, get rid of your shyness on here. Like
Yo,
it doesn't
it's
make sense
ins-
to do it.
it's insane, bro. It's the American dream. Like you can utilize. Like I just think like all the tools that and technology that we have nowadays. You cannot tell me there's no way you can monetize what you do on a daily basis. There's people literally getting on the internet just recording them brushing their teeth, their morning routine, and have like fucking 1 million followers, man. It's insane. That's no bullshit. Like people have gotten famous over just showing they every day going to work, their daily routine, man. It's ill, man. So yeah, like why not us? That was always our thing. Like why not us? And I think that was my thinking going into January of 2021. Just we've been doing this. We've been wanting to do this podcast for 3 years. Like me and you, Ray, we met. Our brother Mel, he brought us together. You know what I'm saying? He always had the vision, like, yo, we should do a podcast. Came up with the name, put it in perspective. And we were like, cool. So, our origin story is, we connected on the Marco Polo app. I don't know if people are familiar with the Marco Polo app. Basically, like the video walkie-talkie app. You send a message, you go back and forth. It's like a big group. You can have many people as you want on there, and we connected that way. And we were basically what we're doing now. The topics we talk about, sports, hip hop, whatever, life, finances, all that stuff. We were doing on the Marco Polo app. The only thing was we wasn't putting out for the general public. Now, like we finally went forth with this platform and finally got our feet wet, got a little comfortable in front of a camera. We putting our perspective out into the world. And 3 years, man, like it felt forever. I just thought that if we didn't do it this year, we would have never probably did it. It was like 3 years too long for me.
That's how you
And
felt. Now
yeah,
and now.
now or never. Now or never, bro. That what I mean? That's the motto. Now or never. Like if we don't do it now, it ain't gonna never happen. And I'm just glad that we finally got this shit cracking, you know. And it feels good, man. Feels good.
I feel like a weakling trying to crack open this bottle. Yeah, that's how we started it, man. I met Mel about 9 years ago, 8 years ago.
Yeah.
We were working at the same location, and we were talking about doing podcasts then. It was just a matter of it wasn't this easy, even though we had cameras and everything. I don't remember people talking about StreamYard. I don't remember there being a YouTube live. So now it's just like this is the new social media, and me and Mel just got cool. We had a very similar mindset about life, and just at least being able to converse about different things. Like me and Mel, the first thing what made me even continue a conversation with him, I always mention it, is we talked about Elon Musk and Tesla, and to see where they are now is crazy. But
Mm-hmm.
I think I remember telling him, like, he knew more about Tesla than I did, which was crazy because we were in this, I was working for a city agency and just making nothing. He's working security. With like, why would we know about this? So I didn't realize at the time how much of a hot topic it was, or becoming. So I told him how I felt. Like at first I was enamored with him, but now I think Elon Musk is just like he's like Kanye, where he's just like a scam artist. He just, and I respect it. I respect the scammer. He's making his
Yeah,
money to invest in his stock, and look what he did with Bitcoin and now Dogecoin.
nigga,
That
man. Can we? I'm
private.
mad about that because yeah, I lost a few. I lost at least not crazy. I lost a few
Nah,
dollars
it
over the
back up.
weekend. Not to where it was.
It was at, where did it dropped to like 50 and then it went back up.
It was at like 71 cents on
Mm-hmm.
was it Friday night? Like going Friday and Saturday morning, and then he went on SNL, and then he did the skit on SNL. He was like, "It's a scam." Once he said that shit went. It went just plummeting. Yeah, it went down like 48 cents.
So right now it's 46. Oh, I didn't look. You know what? I didn't look at it today.
Yeah,
Wow.
I lost a few dollars, but it's all good.
Well, you didn't
Um,
lose anything because you didn't sell.
oh no, I sold some.
Oh, that's smart. Then your profit taken.
Yeah.
So that's
Oh well.
good.
But nah, I mean, I still got a very very decent amount of shares. So I mean, I ain't worried about it. Nothing crazy. Just
But
watch
that's
it.
he was just
What?
surprised that I had that take on Elon Musk, and I just felt like his
Mm,
goal is to take over the green and the energy. I didn't see him just being a car guy. He was trying to take, like, if you look at him, I guess I'm veering off real quick, but if you look at what
not
Elon
good.
Musk is doing, he was trying to get, I think it was 40 charging stations in the island of Manhattan in New York City. Manhattan has like 125 gas stations total, if that. So with
Really?
40,
That's it?
yeah, if I'm not mistaken, and it's probably way less than that. I might have the
Damn.
numbers wrong, but then he would talk about, SpaceX. Initially, he didn't have um what's the joint that's inside the house, because it's not Tesla, SpaceX, and I'm forgetting the solar something that he would have it. He was trying to build like the solar panels in on top of the houses and retain the energy the for the batteries
Hmm.
inside the house, right? But he eventually, I think, merged it or put it under the umbrella of Tesla, which is smart because that's what he was trying to do. So you're gonna be able to charge your car with him, gotta charge your house electricity with him, and you connect the two. And because he opened up the patent for the battery for the car,
Mm.
so now any car company can use that. But he did that like 9 years ago. So he wants everyone to be able to use his batteries, so you can charge your car, even though you are Mercedes Benz. Where are you going to charge your car at? It has to be at
Yeah.
his station. So he saw that, and that's what makes him like a genius or ahead of his time.
He's ahead of his time. He's a visionary.
Yeah, he's a visionary because he's not. Even with the name Tesla, you would think that that was another thing that me and Mel would talk about with the Tesla and Nikola Tesla
Nikola Tesla. Yep.
and the Thomas Edison argument, that Thomas Edison is looked at as a showman and as a charlatan, and Nikola Tesla is like, again, the Kanye of scientists. Like he's the term mad scientist comes from Nikola
Yeah.
Tesla, right? So you would think Elon Musk is more Nikola Tesla, but if you look at his interviews, he will say, "I'm more Thomas Edison. I'm a showman. That mad scientist shit ain't gonna make you no money." And hence why he's in the first Iron Man. The Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr. is based on Elon Musk, or some of it is. So all these things, that's how me and Mel going back and forth. Like, what do you mean? Da, da, da. And from then it was just like we would talk about everything. How I love Patrice O'Neal back then. So that must have
Yeah.
been that meant Patrice O'Neal was alive. And then when he died, I was messed up over that. So he would talk about, like, I would say, like, Kevin Hart really ain't that funny. Like, he's just a star, but he ain't funny like that. And we would argue about that. And it was to the point where we would stay mad late at work and
Just
just talk.
talking.
Yeah. And people would come around us and we would talk mad shit. People were leaving work on the way out. They would watch us. Some of them would stop and talk to us like, I gotta go. So from then we were doing it. And that's when that's how me and Mel got cool. And
Yeah.
then I blew you about 3 years ago because he said, yo, B is my man. B is the one I want to start the podcast with. And we had a couple of other candidates.
Yeah.
They may
Sure
make some
did.
appearance, but the people who were the most persistent, it got to be you and myself, always on the polo, going back and forth about everything.
Everything.
We haven't gone full fledged with that yet. Mel is
Nah.
really the instigator.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's the missing link. he's definitely the link. You know what I mean, between us. Yeah, man. Me and Mel, like, shit, he's family for me. He's like my brother, man. He's practically my brother. I knew Mel since I knew Mel for years, for long since we was kids. I mean, we didn't get close. We didn't really become like close friends until like the summer of '99. But I knew Mel for years. Like when we was single digits playing ball in the park in our neighborhood in Crown Heights, Brooklyn. And you know, he lived up the block in the P's around there. And and yeah, when we got in high school, we really became cool freshman year. And then he actually moved like right around the corner from my house, and his apartment building was like right in the behind my apartment building. So, you know, my backyard was essentially his backyard almost. So when we were out there in the back, like he would look out the window and he'd be like, "Oh B, what up, man?" Like we knew each other from school. And then me and him became cool because he moved around the corner. And then after that, we just go to the court, play ball. He hung on my block for like the whole summer '99, and that whole summer it was just me and Mel. Like we were gonna play ball, we was gonna go get something to eat, you know, looking at girls or whatever. You know what I'm saying? We just was doing it all, man. And ever since then, we've been inseparable. You know what I mean? It's like my brother from another. And yeah, man. Like so, fast forward a few years, and he always wanted to do this podcast. He knew I always wanted to do a podcast. Just, you know what I mean, my passion about certain topics, especially hip hop or sports. Like he was like, "Yo, B, you'd be perfect to do this." And he always told me I should do a podcast. A lot of other people told me I should always do one. It just never happened. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't in the cards, as they say. I mean, and I guess as I got older, I just realized like, yo, I got to make those cards. I got to write those cards. I got to make those cards myself. And I just felt like with us coming together as a trio and us having the idea of trying to really do this, it was like now or never. And just everything with COVID last year, you know, I was home most of the year last year, just from work, and you know, you get a different perspective on life when you're away from a certain situation, and you're like, yo, listen, like, yo, what are we doing? This 9 to 5 shit ain't it. Like, yo, what happened to just following your dreams? And I know a lot of people say don't get caught up in your dreams or your passions too much, and try to stay safe. But I just got tired of people controlling my destiny. I was like, I gotta write my own shit. I was like, if I don't do it, someone else is gonna be writing it for me. And that was just my inspiration, like for us to finally just like, yo, let's do this. Whatever happens with this podcast, wherever it goes, just to say that we actually did this, we manifested it, is a blessing and it means everything to me. You know what I'm saying? So, bro, I'm happy we doing this together. You know what I mean? So we finally, this is where we at, and I'm happy where we at with it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I feel the same way. Like 20 years from now, we just laugh. We're gonna laugh about it regardless. I think.
Yes, absolutely.
Where we start is never where we're gonna end. And
Right.
you can use mad, even if you haven't done anything successful in your life. Just think about, even if you're at the same job for 15 years, 20 years. Think about where you started to where where you at right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
It ain't never too late. Plus, like I said, it's the immigrant mentality. Like that's why I don't understand, certain positions people take. I understand that there may be too many damn people in this country. Might be over, you know what I'm saying? No disrespect. Yeah,
Overcrowded.
it's overcrowded everywhere, but New York is crazy. So,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's what made the fabric of this country is nobody's from here. That's the bottom line, and it has to be constant recreation. There's the culture. We always used to look at every decade. What was the illest decade? 70s is bell bottoms and afros. 80s is graffiti, hip hop. Like 60s was the civil rights movement. The 1950s was Korean War, and they talk about like the white picket fences with what do you call it? My man that whistles. Don
Oh, you
Knotts
talking about?
Leave It to Beaver and
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like that's what
Andy
I think
Griffith.
about. Yeah, and even with the 60s, it was like this progressive movement with the Beatles, but before that, it was a leather jacket with James Dean. He represented but there are pictures and photos, and they lived that time. They recreated that time. Every decade has its own culture almost. So
Absolutely.
the fact that like now we're in this social media era, people are just way too caught up in like bullshit. Like it feels like everybody's in a gang. And I ain't listen. I could tell a couple of stories about almost being in a gang or whatever. But it's like the reason why I never even got involved was because I'm not dying for a stranger that over nothing. Like I could see if
Right.
we were like protecting our neighborhood, our land, our family, our children, you know what I'm saying? But
Listen,
I ain't get so social media feels like that now, and it's just like you're defending this land from like I just saw. Yo, did you see Michael B. Jordan's movie
which one?
on Amazon Prime? The last one, the latest one.
No, I've been meaning to watch that. It's on my list. No, I haven't watched it yet. I've been watching a lot of TV shows, catching up on shows. I haven't watched too many movies. I've been
Without
watching
remorse.
City on the Hill on Showtime with Kevin Bacon. It's pretty good. Been watching
Kevin
that.
Bacon. Wow.
But nah, so what's up with the Michael B. Jordan joint? I know
Without
about it. I haven't seen it though.
without remorse. I was a little disgusted because my wife was way too into Michael Jordan all of a sudden, and I'm like, all right, I can't personally. I think he was whack as Killmonger. I think he is not a good actor. He is okay. He's
Yeah,
like the I don't want to disrespect him like that because he does a lot of great things too.
yeah.
Like this, he's kind of Kevin Hartish at being a dramatic actor. Like,
Oh, wait. Yo, because you know what? I agree with you. I'm
I
not a
don't think
hater.
he's
I mean,
that funny.
he's not the greatest actor. Of
Right.
course, it's the physique. The roles he's picked. Fruitvale Station is probably what really launched him into like, him getting all these roles because the movies before that, the shows he was on The Wire, he was on Law and Order a few times. He was a child actor. Um, I know he did the Fantastic Four movie, which was a flop. I mean, he was in a lot of. He's been acting for a long time, but
The point is,
Fruitvale Station really put
okay,
him put
okay.
him in a different.
Fruitvale Station for him, good point. Because Fruitvale Station for him would be like what's seriously funny is for Kevin Hart. Because even though I don't think Kevin
Yeah,
Hart is funny, I think Seriously Funny is a
it's
classic.
hilarious. It is a
Yeah,
classic. Yes.
I think it's a classic. Like that, I can't deny him from that. And
Yeah.
but my point is, you couldn't really get me to watch a Michael B. Jordan movie. I was
Yeah. Me
disrespecting
too.
longer. So my man was hyping it up, and I'm like, this show better be fucking good. I'm watching it, and I could already see what they're trying to do with me, like with the charades they're trying to play, and I'm like, okay, it's not as ill as advertised. Anybody who's saying that it's that ill,
Oh, so damn. All right.
one
Yeah.
thumb up.
Yo, listen.
But
My thing.
here's the only reason why I brought it up
Go ahead.
because I was talking about the division in this country and shit like that, and why people are against each other. Oh, I can't give that away. Spoiler
No, you
alert.
can give it away. No,
Okay, so
go
the
ahead.
guy in the movie, the villain in the movie, ends up saying, "Yo, we basically we got tired of looking for a bad guy. Like we're the CIA. We're supposed to create the bad guy for you. It was Russia at one point. It's China. It was Al Qaeda. It was this. It's no longer that. We're finding the bad guy in each other now. That's why we divided the country up and everybody's going against each other because we can't find an enemy anymore. The enemy is us now." And it was
Hmm.
like, oh shit. Is Michael B. Jordan trying to drop like the fucking jewels on us? That's a
Well,
pause.
whoever wrote the movie.
Tom Clancy wrote the book. It's a Tom Clancy novel.
Yeah, Tom
But
Clancy is usually good at those, video games and the novels. And
yeah,
yeah,
and that was my thing with Trump. I'm going into Trump, but that was my thing about Trump getting into office. Like, I don't be no dead horse. He's kind of done now, but I would think he is, and I think he's going to catch a Fed charge. And my thing was he should have just bowed out gracefully before he became president. But I didn't like that he's too much of an opportunist. Like I know his fabric. He's from New
of
York. Like,
course.
dude, you're not supposed to be. Sit the hell down, Donald. What are you doing? Nobody like somebody should have slapped him. They should have handcuffed him. His man, somebody. But
Nah,
my problem was that he would push the country to be more divided and seek an opportunity in that. And we're not Syria, we're not Russia, and those
right.
those places around the world are severely divided. And because of
Severely,
that,
really, like that.
so
That's a totally different. Yeah, that's a totally different
what can
program,
happen?
man.
We divide and conquer our own selves. That allows somebody to come in here and take us over. That's a real
That's the
threat now.
that's the that but
That's a
that's
real
kind of
threat.
the nature. That's the kind of nature of man.
Right? Did you say that to me before? Like we evolve so much to the point where you self destruct.
No, but I'll take credit for it.
Okay, but that's the thing. That's the theme, and I'm not sure if that's in I don't was scientists or whatever, but that's a thing where you can, like, you yourself or me myself, we have certain capabilities, and you can reach that point, and you can
Yes.
see even with celebrities or whoever you deem successful, they got nowhere to go but down. So it's almost like they get consumed with like, yo, but what do I do next? And you self-destruct. So it's the same thing with human beings, or the same thing with this country. Like, we can objectively see, like, I don't care who is telling you what, this country is way better than any other option around the world. Knock
Yes.
it off. We're online right now trying to make some money.
Yes.
Cheers.
Oh wait, hold on. Wait. Why am I sitting here drinking coffee when I just got me a little bottle of Patron here that I did not open? That's something small.
Un ching de tequila.
Oh man. But
So what do you feel about the vaccine? Can I ask you if you're taking the vaccine, or we can edit this out?
oh yeah, nah. We could build on that. It's funny. Because yeah, listen, I was hesitant to get it. I was on the fence about it. But just me. I know later on this year, I plan on doing some things with my family. I'm like, yo, whatever, man. We got all these. We've been getting vaccines since we were babies. I mean, I'm totally, me, all that, but come on, man. Listen, I got to do what's best for me and my family, myself. I caught COVID, so I'm like, nah, man. I just don't. I don't want to see people go through that. So yeah, I actually, I set up an appointment for this week to actually get the vaccine. So I signed up for the Moderna, so I get my first dose
This
on
week?
this week. Yeah.
I
Yep.
feel like ODB circa 94 when he said, I caught gonorrhea. I caught I caught gonorrhea 2 times, man. I
Yeah,
caught
I
COVID,
remember that on MTV. He was,
yeah, in the back of a limo, going to a
yep,
food pick up his food stamps.
yep,
ODB, top 2 realest rappers ever,
realist,
and he ain't changed.
realist.
So I caught COVID twice, at least according to the doctor.
Twice. And you know
He
what's
said,
wild? You know what's crazy? Because my doctor said, "Oh, you can't get it. You can't get it twice." I said, "Really?" I said, "How?" And I heard people getting it twice. I'm like, I don't know about all that. I have asthma, so I'm like, I can't really fuck around with this shit. Caught it once. I went through. Definitely was feeling it in my chest, but not compared to a lot of other people I know that have asthma or just don't even have asthma. Really, we're going through it with far as shortness of breath and breathing. I'm not taking that chance again. I'm trying to live a few more years. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna let COVID take me out. I'm gonna do whatever I can to prevent it. So if this vaccine is gonna help prevent that, then fuck it.
I was listening to your boy Vlad TV. He was
Well, don't
interviewing.
say my boy.
He was listening. He was interviewing a TK Kirkland. That's a guilty pleasure now for listening to Vlad because you guys hate him so much. Um, he, according to him, which is crazy, I'm getting my vaccination news from Vlad TV.
Yeah.
But he
See?
said he said that you're less likely to go. Yes, you can catch it. You're more likely to catch it after you get the vaccine, but you're less likely to end up in the hospital. Way less likely. So because of the you have the antibodies to fight it. But
Right.
there's so many things they're saying. If you have to take the vaccine every year,
Same way you gotta take the flu shot every year.
I don't take the flu vaccine.
I haven't had a flu shot in years. So, but
Then and initially, the vaccine was you developed the antibodies when you caught COVID,
right.
and those antibodies were only around for 4 months, and then that's why you were able to recatch COVID. So that's why
Okay.
you can test to see if you have the antibodies. We might need to update this shit. I think we told me to go to CDC, the CDC.com. You did?
So wait. All right. Let me get this straight. So
Send
are
it
you
to me.
gonna go? Are you gonna get vaccinated?
No comment.
No comment. But you wanted me to comment on this shit. Get the fuck out of here, bro. What kind of bait and switch shit was that?
I'm leaning towards it because It makes sense. It's just like everybody got. I got seen all the guinea pigs do it. Seen all the old folks, and you know, give yourself a synthetic virus. Um, yeah, especially with black and brown people. Now, what if I think the conspiracy theory for speaking of conspiracy, yo, we talking about that Bill. We gotta do the Bill Gates talk,
I'm not touching that. You can build on that if you want.
bro. But that's a part of this because that was the conspiracy early on. But that Bill Gates is gonna Thanos snap anybody who doesn't have the vaccine, and you're done. You could re-release
Yo, what? It's the
if
first I'm hearing about this.
I just made that up, but
Okay.
yeah, because remember the original conspiracy theory when this first came out was that there's a list of people that are on that Jeffrey Epstein list. There's a list of people that were associated with Jeffrey Epstein, and they're releasing the virus because they didn't want them out. So they were gonna announce this guy's dead. This guy got the vaccine. Meanwhile, they like Tom Hanks. They were saying Tom Hanks was with Jeff Epstein. Okay, it's just a conspiracy, but Bill Gates was the leader of this thing, and he's also the
And
guy that we saw 4 years ago.
he was there. They said at
Okay,
least 17 times on that little Lolita Island that Jeffrey Epstein had.
now,
Okay.
now, him and his wife are getting divorced.
Yes.
Okay, did you read why? Possibly.
No,
Why
I
they
did not.
did? Because when
Why?
the Jeffrey Epstein list came out, they had a beef. That is
Mm,
so. Ever since then, if you're Bill Gates, one of the most powerful men in this damn world, owns 270,000 acres of New York of American farmland. By the way, the most out of anybody, which shouldn't be surprising.
yeah.
The virus consultant. He's the Ebola orchestra, the Ebola whatever wizard. He's dead center in the middle of this shit. And then you have things like I mean, there's a bunch of foul shit. Once you got he's powerful, bro.
Yeah.
Even if like they're turning him, I always say they're turning him into like the Riddler in real time. He's like a real
But nah, go ahead, keep going.
I'm just saying that's where I'm at with it. I don't know if it's true,
So,
obviously.
because of this, you're hesitant.
No.
Oh,
I
okay.
I just told you. Now I'm scared that he's gonna Thanos snap the people that don't have the vaccine. Because I'm pretty sure that he took the vaccine, and I'm pretty sure the most powerful people took the vaccine. And at the end of the day, even if you think it's not a conspiracy, it's still an experiment. If you're a
Yeah.
scientist, it's an experiment. And by the
Yeah.
way, it's still fuck Dr. Fauci and fuck the CDC and fuck who. You guys messed up last year. He he's part of the reason why I don't believe them. He should have never lied last year. He just didn't. He should have grabbed his little old Italian nuts and told Trump, "Hey, check this out, Donald. Uh, the doctors need a mask. You guys can't get a mask. We need our medical officials to be good." And I'm pretty sure, like, he couldn't imagine that if he spoke about this, all these billionaires and everybody would have got their shit together. He couldn't secretly call Mark Cuban or somebody and like get something together, like a little conspiracy thing. Like, I just don't believe that little. I don't believe him anymore. And I like him. I like him. I like when he talks. He sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
But
Yo, it's crazy because it's almost like you have to be cynical about this shit. Like you got to be a cynic. Like you gotta. Listen, there's so much shit going on, so much surrounding this whole situation. Last year, we've never experienced anything like this. And out of all the conspiracy theories that we've had and heard in our lifetime, this shit right here is like probably like, all right, this is this shit. This should happen. COVID happened. So you knew it was going to be so many conspiracies that were going to be birthed from this actual event. Like all the times, like they tell us, oh, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, things don't happen, and that shit, a pandemic actually took place. We're still in this shit, and if you're going to be a cynic about anything right now, so be it. This is the moment. This is the time. This is the situation. So
you want to get
I
into that,
get it.
like how
What?
our era?
Huh?
To be honest, I grew up. I'm Dominican, but I grew up with a lot of my homeboys are black, And they always told me, like, you grow up with, all right, slavery is not the end of the story. We weren't no damn indentured servants. You hear about Jim Crow. You hear about, yeah, you heard about Martin Luther King. But what about Malcolm X? You know where he came from, and then the Black Panthers came from there. So you say, like, wait a minute, what? They fucking, like, still to this day, like, when my mother was alive, they were going after black people. They're like, yeah, and then you find out the mob has like J. Edgar Hoover and drag, and they say, yo, you better not, we're good. And then they started focusing on Black Panthers, so they're still terrorizing Americans at the end of
Yes.
the day. So growing up thinking that, and then everyone had their hands on Beholder the Pale Horse. That's like the OG
Still have
conspiracy.
it. Still have it. Bro, I can't tell you how many times I've had the physical or even the digital version, and how many times I've linked that book out to people and never got it back. Matter of fact, our boy, I'm gonna call him out. Our boy Justin on Mind on Matters, he actually has a copy of my shit from like 2005. But go ahead.
But even if, and those were like street, underground, and again, like I said, it was more like the black people, putting the myth out there. Every other like Dominicans, we're naturally cynical. We're like naturally paranoid people, and so we
Black
believe.
people too.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Dominicans are fucking black.
I was
So
about to say that, but go ahead.
yeah, and well, whatever. We're mixed. We're a mixed group out here. So, but also, even if you are educated and you go the academic route, the 1984 book by George Orwell, An Animal Farm,
Yes. Yes.
that's all like conspiracy talk as well. And even before all this shit was World War Z,
Nah, the War of the Worlds.
War of the Worlds. That wasn't George
Orson
Orwell.
Welles.
Orson Welles. I always confuse those two. Orson Welles, War of the Worlds. That was a radio show, and everybody really thought that.
It messed people up, man. It messed the whole
How,
country up.
how easily with social media can happen at the snap of a fucking
Yes.
bro.
It's
Right.
happening to the 10th power or to the 100th power now. Like that's taking place. That radio show is taking place through social media every second as we speak. Someone's making a story or a conspiracy theory, and people are running with it, man. And people are falling for the bullshit. But I don't know how much of this shit out there is true. We don't know. That's the scary part. We don't know what's the truth or what's not. I mean, my thing is just try your best to do your research and, gather as much information as you can on your own. But who's to say that whatever information you gather is the truth as well? So it's a lot of shit.
Yeah, and that's the part where I guess there's certain people you got to stay away from.
Yeah.
And then it's funny because they'll be on some shit, and then they would have told you some shit like 5 years ago, and it's really like, but they're wrong 100 other times. So it's like, what do I believe from you, bro?
Yo,
But there are things in life that you do have to. I think we're paranoid for a reason. Like paranoia is real, and
yes, absolutely.
I think it got passed along in our DNA for the most part because
I
think about how we were living thousands of years ago.
Yeah, I mean, but bro, like again, like this. I mean, all right. I think you were onto something. I ain't even mean to cut you, but like, yo, it's like, all right. I just think that's like just human nature. Like people just. But where does that come? Where does that instinct come from? Is it animal instincts that we just are paranoid about certain things, or is just our radars up? So are we just conditioned that way? Like things are put in place for us to become, paranoid. Like
I think there are certain people who are just smart and they react to others like I think it became, in order for something to be ingrained in your DNA like that, let's say the first 100 people on earth, the first 20 of them died going down the same route, and you witnessed it, like falling off the edge of this mountain over here. You're not going up on that mountain anymore. Even if all of a sudden the mountain grows a middle piece and you can walk over there, you're going to be hesitant until somebody has the balls to go over there. Like, I think that would have to play a mental, or again, become a part of your DNA. in some instance, and that sort of thing, or even walking into a certain forest and avoiding certain the X factor of not coming back. Like, oh, last time Brandon went in there, he didn't come back, and neither did Maria. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think so. All these things get passed down, and there weren't as many people back, 100,000 years ago or whatever.
Right.
And
It's
it was
just
a. I always talk about white people living in caves, and they lost their eye color and their hair color. All that shit changed because and their skin color because they were in a cave.
the
So
conditions.
imagine, yeah, the condition. So imagine what they passed down as paranoia.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and I guess with Africans, um, I don't know you're paranoid. Is it because when they get cold or some shit? Like when they
Yo, it's the passed down trauma, man. Like
yeah,
from generation to generation, man. And a lot of people trying to break these generational curses, somewhat. I think as a people, as races, we're trying to break, especially black people, what I mean, Dominican people, like whoever, like we all trying to break some type of curse or stigma that we have from passed down from generation to generation. And it's as much as people try, sometimes it can be hard, you know what I'm saying? And some people don't even know why they think this the way that they do without even thinking about the things that probably just passed down to them genetically. And I mean that's why therapy is very good. I think everybody needs to at least try therapy at least once or twice. You know what I'm saying? Like just to open up their mind or just look at things from a different perspective that they probably never did.
and also work on trying to choose your own struggle.
Mm, mm,
Like
yeah,
again, that's why I keep talking about this country. Like you could point to the bad in any situation.
of course.
You could point to the worst outcome. What do you see in the future as being good? Like the result. If you're pessimistic about it, like more than likely, I don't want you around me because
Yeah.
like you're thinking negative, and that's just not just spiritually, but I think that's logical.
Yeah, nah, that's listen. Me and you on the same page with that. I don't want, I don't want no one who's a pessimist around me. Like, like, yo, I want you to have a positive outlook. Like, yo, let's do this. Like, I say something. Don't, I mean, warn me. Like, it's one thing to warn someone, like, yo, listen, this might happen. Prepare you for things that might happen. But just being a negative, having a negative outlook on certain situations, or just wallowing in the situation, like, yo, well, this is gonna happen. Well, you're gonna do this, and I don't think we should do it. Like you just having that negative type of attitude is hard to move along or be around people like that in your cipher, man. So me, I
So
try my best to keep that positive energy going, man.
so that is, I mean, that would be like being that pessimistic is sort of paranoid too. You know what I mean? Like that negative. You're only thinking about
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
this, this like level of anxiety. And I think we're much more open to this and talking about anxiety now, which is good in a sense, but it's also like you said, where is it? Where it is good therapy? Are you
Mm.
supposed to stop at a certain point? Is it like medication? Is it like vitamins? Is it like food? Is it like fast food? Like what is
Li-
it for?
Listen, I mean, I wouldn't even say fast food. Fast food is it's good for the moment, but it's not healthy long term. Therapy is sort of like that good cooked meal. I think. I mean, I actually personally I could speak on it. I do see a therapist, and I think it's been very therapeutic to have therapy. um, it definitely helps out, man. I think it opens your mind up to possibilities on how you are as a human, like your conditioning, how you move, how you think, how you operate as a human on a day to day. Like reading your own body language, understanding why you do what you do. And I think a lot of people, especially black people, man, we have a lot of post-traumatic stress, and that's not tapped into, or people just don't acknowledge it because they think a lot of the things that we go through are the norm, and a lot of this shit we deal with on a daily basis is not normal. It's not normal at all. We're products of the conditioning in the environment we in, and we thinking like, all right, this is how it's supposed to be. Nah. And I think a lot of our environments and a lot of the conditions that we in condition us to think and act and feel a certain way, anxiety, stress, just having a negative outlook on certain situations, not thinking that things are going to turn in your favor, or not thinking that you can't do something, or just having the mindset of like nothing's good is going to come from this. Like I'm just going to be, you know, a product of my environment, or just a product of whatever, situation I'm in, and then just not turning it into a positive, not trying to get out of that situation. And I think for me, therapy has been very beneficial. You know what I mean? Just changing my mindset and just seeing certain things that I never even thought about, looking into. So,
And a lot of thoughts went through my mind when you said that. Cause I just, when we go to DR, I see, people probably way more, well, not probably, way more poor than in this country. It's not even close.
right.
They don't even have a bus ride away to any land, any metropolitan, to be homeless somewhere and
Right.
then try to make it. They don't have that in DR. And we just talked about being around the world. I think poverty in general leads you to have certain PTSD.
Yeah,
You're gonna
hell yeah.
get certain shit regardless.
Right.
So, but those people can actually, if they ever get a chance, like we talked about earlier, are dying to come over here. And if they do, I think the one thing that nobody really talks about enough with black people, and it's hard to get, I guess, white people, because that's easy to say white people, but
Hmm.
other people understand is, I think black people in this country have been working on trying to cultivate a culture and this unity that provides like this, the just this link. Like I said, like being Dominican, there are so many parts of my culture that's just not even questioned. You know what I mean? Like it's just a part of it, and I accept it, and it's not negative at all. Like I imagine, like I look at soul food, and I'm like, that's more considered black food, but there's a negative connotation to it. Like that was a scraps for slaves and shit. Like so, there's a lineage back to this negativity,
Yeah.
and that's something that I think a lot of white people I speak to, and I go, you don't understand. Like if you're Italian, you go anywhere around the world, and there's some pastas and pizza, like or someone speaking Italian, you can link up based on that alone, and that's not just a link that was hundreds of years old. That's a link that's thousands of years old. Period. And with African Americans are hundreds of years old. So
Yeah.
what is that link? You know what I mean? What is that? What are you guys not celebrating? What are African Americans really?
Well,
What are they
I could
linking
tell.
back to?
I mean, far as soul food, I'm like, yeah, they slave times. They gave us the worst parts of the pig, worst the scraps. Um, but what came from that is the perseverance of trying to make it, trying to stay alive, and from that became, later on evolved into the soul food, making fried chicken, using the collard greens from the fields, using that, making that food our own, using it, making that food into something that was soulful, coming from the heart, using it to help us survive, to get through, and to pass down from generation to generation. Now that link, now you go to a soul food spot, it's an African American, like that's an African American's restaurant. Like just from that's the link. Same way a pizza or pasta. Pasta was really originally was made by Asian people. You know what I'm saying? The Italians adapted that, but
And the mafia.
in the mafia. But you know what I'm saying? We got they gave us lemons, we made lemonade. Like, you know what I'm saying? You made do. You know what I'm saying? Like that food got us to where we are now. Like it helped us get through some shit. You know what
But
I'm saying? So
I guess my point is, it's still a link between, but to like 400 years. It's
yeah.
not, there's nothing before that. So there's a missing. It's just like not having your
So,
father.
yeah, I mean, but that cause we was culturally raped. You stripped from your country. You're culturally
Right.
raped. You're raped of your religions, your culture, your way of life, your customs, language. They taught us to speak a different language. They taught us something that wasn't ours. So we were forced to adapt and make things ours. Make soul food, make the worst parts of the pig. You know what I'm saying? Turn those things into something that was essentially now that's linked to us, that's ours now. Because we didn't have anything. A lot of people are lost. Like we the lost tribe. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like shit is real. You know what I mean? So
That's to me, that's biblical. I think
Oh yeah, that's absolutely.
to change and then to change the world with a lot of like even with hip hop and rock and just music and culture in general. And then now we're seeing a lot more. That's why it is ill to see a lot more ownership in the on the entertainment side because
Yeah.
the other ethnic groups they took their equity in on the entertainment side for years. But
Yes.
again,
Yes.
I think
Still.
personally the reason why they were able to do that so quickly in this country, and that's the part that you'll hear, you know, white people say they don't understand why I can't get like black people in this country can't get it together. And it's like, bro, I mean, Italians had it bad, and Irish people had it bad to the point where they gave. That's what the whole Columbus Day controversy came from, right? Like they apologized to Italian people for hanging the most people, lynching the most people on record in one day were Italians in this country. So they apologized with Columbus Day. That led to
Mhm.
the recent controversy. Even though I agree with calling it just Italian Day, like forget about calling it Indigenous Day. Yeah, you that's their apology. So, but either way, for me, the reason why Italian people were able to stick together is because that culture never went anywhere. It never disappeared. Meanwhile, Africans came were in this country. They
Well,
weren't the
well, see,
only group brought
well,
here
see, this is that's the problem because
involuntary.
Africa's a continent
Right,
made up
Western.
of what? How many countries? 52, 53 countries. Italy is a country. You know what I'm saying? So the culture is from one region, one place. Africa, we were so divided. We just taken from that country, ripped culturally, different dialects, different languages, different customs, different way of life from different countries all over around Africa, different regions. And we were just all brought here, put into the Brazil, put into the islands, came to America, and then trying to our unification was our skin color. That was it. You know what I'm saying? And then trying to make do with that. Like, all right, we don't speak the same language. People forget about that part. Like, yo, like yeah, we came from Africa, but yeah, I don't speak that same dialect from that country or this country. Like our customs are different. We eat different foods. We have different traditions. Yo, black people as a whole, we just trying to make it.
Right.
Just trying to make it. That's the
Right.
crazy part.
That's like they never met, and that's another thing. They never right. Irish and Italians, they don't they fought each other in this country.
Yeah,
They didn't get
yeah.
along. They beefed. The Irish
Oh
became the
yeah, absolutely. Hell yeah. Nah, hell yeah.
especially in New York, the Irish were the cops and the Italians were, you know, I don't know, they were mobbed up and and were they in sanitation? There's a discrimination show on the sanitation test. This is a really controversial podcast. Blame it on the
But I
church.
mean, we speaking. I mean, we speaking the truth, man. I mean, I don't see anything what we said to be
Yeah,
controversial. It is what
but
it is.
I think that's what the
These conversations need to be had. I don't care if you white, you Irish, you Italian, you black. Well, I mean, these are the conversations that need to be had amongst each other. Like people need to hear some of these comments. Like even if you have a negative conversation, negative outlook about this situation, it makes you feel uncomfortable. Supposed to, you know what I'm saying? It's an uncomfortable situation, man, for black people, for Irish, for Italian, whoever.
I don't think it should be uncomfortable.
It shouldn't, but it is. It is.
It just shouldn't. I think when it gets brought up that way, and if you're gonna be confrontational about it, I think to be honest, I think MAGA really started because white people just wanted to say I'm white and I'm proud out loud without a beef.
That's a part of it.
I think that's the root of it. I don't. Yeah, of
I
course you're
agree.
gonna. Yeah, it gotta be because everybody doesn't agree with the Capital dudes. They go, yeah, we're not them. You're gonna see. I speak to them and go, I wouldn't do that because that's just
Of
dumb.
course not, because the way is looked at right now. Huh.
No, no. Because they didn't realize that they were just like look at Black Lives Matter, and now Antifa kind of whatever the rumor is, Antifa tries to infiltrate them. Like I can see why people go. I'm not going to that. This might
Yeah,
turn
I mean, I
crazy.
get it, but
Did
listen,
you remember?
the
Hold on. Remember
what
before when Don Lemon was still a piece of shit, and Talib Kweli checked him.
got on his ass. Hell yeah, of
He
course.
said, "Yo, I was out here for 3 days. You weren't out here.
Oh, he had to
What were you at?"
apologize. He had Don Lemon had to apologize. He did. He had to
He was
retract
still.
that shit.
But it's people like
But
him that are part of CNN, and like the media.
yeah,
People keep saying the media is bad, but CNN. Who watches CNN?
I do.
That's crazy. I would never watch CNN.
Why not?
That CNN is horrible. They
I
are
watch
Fox.
CNN. I watch Fox News too. I watch MSNBC.
I'm watching Bill Maher. I even listen to Ben Shapiro, and he's a little prick. Like I was
Yo,
listen, Ben,
I used to love Bill Maher, man. Bill Maher,
he's gotten better.
I don't know. He's got better.
Yes, because for a while I felt like he sold out, and he donated to Obama, and he kind of got like a little biased. And then the last year, I want to say he's been going off. Like who cares if he called it a China virus? They called the I didn't even know that Lyme disease was a neighborhood in Connecticut. Ebola is an area in West Africa. You name the Spanish flu. The Spanish flu? So all he was saying was like, "Yo, what are we so sensitive about?" And it took someone who's considered a leftist or even the left gang.
Nah, he's
He's what?
he could be in the middle at times. Yeah,
I'm
he's
in the
definitely
middle.
yeah, but the thing I agree with him. The only thing
I'm
with Bill
I'm
Maher,
I'm neutral,
I didn't
cuz.
like I didn't like how he used to go in really hard on like Islam, like
Yeah,
really, really go hard,
but
like
that's his
really.
belief. He goes in, but
He's an
again,
atheist. I get it.
exactly. And that's the thing. I disagree with him about that because his belief is that most wars were because of religion. And I'm like, we are looking for reasons to fight right now. It has nothing to do with religion. We will fight for a piece of a
Yeah,
hot dog.
I seen
We are
I
crazy.
seen Religulous.
Religion.
What was his movie? Yeah, which I actually like. I actually like that movie.
Yeah, it was good. So you took Ben Affleck's side during that argument with when he was on Bill Marshall. You remember that?
Nah, I didn't see it. I didn't see
He's
that.
saying what you're saying. Like Ben Affleck is his guy Sam Harris, who looks a lot like Aaron Rodgers, and he was on Bill Marshall, and he's like this. People started jumping on his dick, and I like Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson is ill to me. I don't know why they call him a racist. I'm trying to
Jordan
figure out why.
Peterson.
Jordan Peterson is a white Canadian dude that just started talking some real man shit from Canada. And he just said, like, I forgot what the rule was in Canada that they were trying to pass. And he said, yo, you can't pass that law because people have the freedom of speech. You just can't do that. And that's how he blew up in the last 4 or 5 years.
Mm,
He speaks
okay.
really well about a bunch of shit. I think Jamel Hill called him a racist and all type of shit. And I know he considers like some of the smartest people on earth, if I'm not mistaken, the Ashkenazi Jews. But I think there's some credence to that. And fucking Einstein and a whole bunch of these dudes are from there. But different story. Sam Harris was like in that was part of this group, the intellectual dark web. Eric Weinstein's in it. I think they got Ben Shapiro. They should kick Ben Shapiro out. He's too biased and puppet master to be a part of it. But Sam Harris was on Bill Maher's show, and he was just talking about like, yo, even though you have these are extreme Muslims who are the terrorists.
Yes.
The people around them, the family members, anyone who is Islamic, they're okay with it in a sense. It's not like over here where you're
That's like,
shunning. You're shunning.
that's all that is the same thing as us growing up in the hood, and you know who the dealers are. You know the motherfuckers is pushing the poison to your people, and you saying what up to them every day.
That's what he's saying.
I'm all right. I mean, listen,
You're
you're
not
in
that.
that environment. What are you gonna do? I mean, in most cases, like it's easier to say like, yo, we got to condemn them and get together. Like, yo, you still live here. You got to worry about the consequences if you saying, yo, fuck these drug dealers or fuck these people, especially over there. You got to deal with that. These dudes are terrorists? What do you think they're going to do? Yo, I mean, I'm just being real. Like, what do you think they're going to do? Like, oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah. Oh, you going to tell on us? Oh, yeah. We about to bomb some shit? Yeah?
Excuse
Okay.
me, white man. what remedy do you have to get rid of this guy from my fucking block? Word, you're gonna get rid of it? Yo, that's a good point, B. Yeah, you're right about that.
I'm just being real, bro. You already know, like, son.
But
I've seen it. We come on. We
I
grew
know.
up. We grew up, man. I've seen situations like that go wrong.
What
But
do call the cops on a
like,
terrorist?
like, oh yeah, oh
What's
yeah.
my man's name with the eyebrow? I don't want to. What's my man? Does he have glasses?
Yo, we do this. We gotta have that dude pop up in the middle right here.
Oh hell, that's crazy. What's happening?
Oh man, boy. No, listen. I mean, listen, man. It's
That's a great point, man. But Ben Affleck, they were saying Ben Affleck was so roided up that he couldn't really get that out. He's like, you, that's racist to say this, that, and the third. And Sam Harris just like, bro, it's this is what it is. It's in the Quran, like it's in the Quran, like that's what they believe in. You know what I mean? Like, what do you want me to do? And he just again, you shouldn't have been if you weren't that emotional about it. Look, you weren't emotional about it. You say, yo, bro, you put yourself in their shoes, and it was simple as, damn, you're right.
I
What
mean, I
can
think sometimes you gotta just simplify the situation. Like, just like, all right, what would you do? Like, all right, think about the situation. I
right?
mean, yeah, do the knowledge to the situation.
And so you from the country that bombs us all the time have the right answer. We're supposed to trust you. Like, these are my cousins. We've been beefing for thousands of years. I think the devil. I'd rather deal with the devil I know. That's how it goes, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'd rather deal with the devil I know. So the one I don't know,
Yeah,
like I don't
yes,
know you.
yes.
The
Yeah.
grass ain't always greener. Damn, that was a good fucking point, B.
Yo,
Yeah.
man. I mean, it is. Yeah. I mean, that's what it is for me. I mean, that's how I see it.
Hmm. Um.
Anyway, moving along.
Yeah. You put me on such a high
How
note
the hell did we get there?
the way we normally do. This was ill.
This was ill. This was ill. Um, yeah, we gotta post this. I don't go fuck. We posting this shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so your boy, Murder Mase,
Oh, we're
Harlem
doing
World.
it?
Fuck it. Why not?
Damn. Let me see if I'm ready.
Why not? Why the fuck not?
What about it? What about it?
What about it? Is it a classic? And I've had this argument on Twitter. It wasn't really an argument. You know what it was? It was just that I was, and you know what's crazy? I actually liked the album because I played the shit out. I caught the bootleg cassette. I didn't buy it, but I went to Fulton Street, got that cassette tape. This is '97, so cassette tapes was still a shit. I had my Walkman or whatever. I had my radio in my room. I used to write the lyrics down. Some of the songs on the Harlem World album. The joint with what was it? The joint with Buster. There was a few joints. I just to write the lyrics down, like because this before we was just actually printing the lyrics out. It was like right before that started really taking off.
Yahoo
And
was out.
huh?
Yahoo was out, and they had the worst lyric interpretation of all time.
Yes, yeah. You go in there like, what the fuck is this? They don't know what the fuck they talking about. So yeah, I'd rather interpret it my damn self. So I used to write down a lot of the lyrics. That was one of those first albums. That album and the Busta Rhymes Dangerous album, I recall writing the lyrics out to certain songs on those albums. But anyway, Harlem World had great singles. Feel So Good is one of my favorite hip hop songs of all time. That is a classic song. Regardless of anybody like, oh, it's that shiny. Nah, that shit's a classic. Feel So Good is a classic hip hop song. Um, Why Your Girl Looking at Me is a classic. Nah, I ain't gonna say it's classic. It's a good song. I love that song.
That's Neptune's though, right?
Yeah, I believe the Neptunes did that beat. Yep. What else? What else is on there? The train with Total. No, yeah, with Total.
There's there's a song. The song with Total is "Tell Me What You Want." That
Want
song
from
is
me.
classic.
That song is hot. Yes,
It
without a
might,
doubt.
yes, it's a classic. I want to say that song is classic.
And it's another one. 24 Hours to Live.
Classic.
Classic.
He got
Okay.
he got a couple of classics. I just after you told me about it, I don't know if I should play it now because they're gonna.
Nah, let's not do that.
Yo, but to be honest,
You
YouTube
can
just
mute
came.
it.
You can mute it, and I don't like because that takes too long for them to pull up to re do or whatever. But to be honest, the YouTube idea. So if they have a copyright, whoever owns the copyright, they just take all the advertising on it. And this ain't like a Harlem World. This ain't gonna give us enough buzz.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, we're fixing our other videos up so we can get our money just in case. But do you want to get money? That's the first song. That's with Kelly Price, who apparently I think she sued Puff for not getting paid for whatever. I
Oh
like
wow.
that.
It's a
I don't
good
know
song,
what
but it's not like
that-
it ain't aged that well for me. Listen, I played this whole album for the fact of this conversation. I had to play the album again, and a lot of these joints did not age well, bro. They
I
sound
disagree.
they sound like 1997. Like, all right, I get it. I get why the song was made, but this shit ain't classic. We know what the classics are.
I
That's not a classic, bro.
But you could say that about you could
There's a
say that
lot
about
of songs you could say that about. Yes,
about
but
a lot of Biggie songs.
like which one?
You- we could go.
Respect.
Nah, I mean respect. I didn't care for when they came out. Even on Life After Death,
What
those songs
songs?
don't sound. You can't. What do you mean it didn't? Like you're
What
playing that
songs?
half the album. How does that sound like 2021? What does that
Nah,
mean?
all right. Listen.
He
All right.
has how many?
All
Hold
right.
on.
Wait. Hold
He
on.
has
Hold
how
on.
many
Hold on.
diamonds?
Hold on. Because all right. Listen. Yeah. There's songs that sound like all right for what it was at that time. But bro, there's not songs that you can actually enjoy that's like timeless. Like, all right, yo, this song right here, like, we know why it's still classic. Like, I know why it was dope, and I know why it's still dope. Some of these songs on this album, they were good for that time. I'm not bumping it like right now. I'm not listening to it, and I'm not enjoying it the same way I used to. There's songs on Biggie's album I can still enjoy. More so than the songs on this Harlem World album that are not singles.
That's you. I listen to it. This album is not meant for whatever you're talking about. Biggie, I might not be able to listen to that Biggie album with my wife. I can
Okay,
listen to it with you, but this
so
album I might listen to it with my wife.
the whole
Or
album?
yes, it's a yo. You know what's funny?
Here, bro.
It's funny you say that because "Feel So Good" is the lead single or one of the singles. That's what
Yes.
the album is for. This is a product of the shiny suit, whatever.
Yeah, I
This
get
is
it.
that he did that to the utmost.
Right. Okay.
And Mase was copied so much because of this. Like we can't even deny his and you talk about the interludes were whack. No, they were not. They
Yes,
were
they fucking
hilarious.
were, bro. Get the fuck out of here, man.
Bro, this
The
dude is
mad rapper shit was okay. The white girl shit, the Becky's and all that shit wasn't that dope, bro. It wasn't dope then.
your man that was on the train talking shit about Maze. And all of a sudden you hear doom, doom. That shit is hilarious. The jealous one, well, yo, stop calling my girl, yo. Who's your girl, B? Yo, you know yo, stop calling my girl. That shit is hilarious. Which led to that's not tell me what you want. Yo, you don't like to cheat on your song with Jay-Z. That song is still dope to me.
Nah, I hate. I was never a fan then. I didn't like it then. I still don't like
That
it.
it's dope. It was a formulaic 90s album, but I like it. The I Need to Be song with Monifa is ill. That sounds like you feel like you're 16, 17 years old again. Everything about those lyrics. He's talking about going out with some girl. Oh,
Okay. All right. What about Love You So?
which one is that? What is Love You So? With Billy Lawrence?
Yeah.
How
Do
does
you
that
even
even
remember that song?
I don't know. Let me lower it. No, I never liked that song. I never liked that song.
Okay. What about the joint with Lil Kim and Puff?
I like it.
Will It Die For You?
Yes.
Is it a classic? Is it something that you can enjoy still?
Okay, so that's the argument. Is the album a classic?
Yes.
If
All
I think
right.
if you got to think about it, then no. I had to think about it. That song with 8 Ball MJG is dope. Like this, his album, like his formula was what Big did. It was just so this way with it because he wasn't like, what do you want from him? I'm
He tried.
19 years old. I'm 19, 20 years old. I'm
Yeah,
not even 25, 27. All these other rappers took that long to pop off. He popped off with this album. I'm not.
Nas was 17 when he made Illmatic. I don't want to
Okay.
hear shit.
Come on. But this ain't Nas had all these producers around him. He had all those co-signs. Mase came from out of nowhere, 19 years old, under
He
Puff.
didn't come from out of nowhere, bro. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Get out of
Well,
here, man. What do you
we
mean?
know
What do you mean from out of nowhere? This
in,
album ain't just drop. He had a buzz.
in
He was
1995, in 1995, there was no Mase. In
okay in
96, he came out
'96.
the
Yeah.
Only You. Okay, but it took a while. It was still like he's still one of the most.
Oh, he came off of Money Mo Problems. He came off out of No Way Out. Like yo, bro, he was Mace had a buzz. He was
Okay,
somebody, bro. Murder
but
Mace, mixtapes,
that
all
still
that.
wasn't. It still wasn't a build up. It still wasn't a build like all right. Nas didn't have a build up either. So it was like okay, I see what you're saying. But it wasn't a build up like Tupac. It wasn't a build up like Jay-Z. It wasn't a build up like DMX. It wasn't a build up like all these other rappers who blew up at in their late to mid 20s. He blows up at 19. That's different.
All
He's
right.
a
First of all, Jay-Z didn't have a debut album until he was 26. Reasonable Doubt came out in '96, right? That was his first album. Tupac's first album was it Strictly for My Niggas or Tupacalypse Now? It was Strictly for
91.
My Niggas, right? What was the build up for that? There
No, no,
was
no.
no build up.
I'm not saying it's a build up to that album. I'm saying it's a build up to him
Okay.
blowing up. There's no build up to Maze blowing up. It was a
What?
year. That's a year time.
Bro,
90 only you
yo,
came out 96.
Ray. He
A
was
year.
on he was on Mo Money, Mo Problems, one of the biggest songs of 1997.
Mm-hmm.
Correct?
Yeah.
He was on No Way Out, Been Around the World. He was on that song. He was on the joint with Biggie on 112's album.
Only
Only
you.
You. Bro, that's a buildup. People were anticipating Mace.
Okay,
People were
but
anticipating this debut, bro.
that took a year. At 19, DMX
That's a
didn't do that.
buildup.
At 19, Jay-Z could not do that. They were Eminem at 19 could not do that. These rappers could not do that. Mace
Bro,
figured it out.
all those rappers, their circumstances, their situations were way different than
I
what
don't
Mace
want to
had.
hear it. Nobody.
Jay-Z wasn't on no big songs before Reasonable Doubt. Eminem wasn't on no big songs before Slim Shady LP. Come on, bro. Get the fuck
Okay,
out of
so,
here.
so so here's
Mace
the
had
question.
a machine behind him, bro.
That's easy to say, but here's the question: would you have
Okay.
wanted to hear a 19-year-old Jay-Z on anything? No, we did not. We didn't want to hear Jay-Z at 19. We just didn't. We got to knock
Jay-Z
it
was
off.
still selling drugs at 19, bro.
I don't care what he was doing besides rapping. I'm talking about his rap skills at 19. We would have just pressed fast forward. Who's the next guy up? That's how it was.
Okay.
That's not a lie. That's not a lie.
Bro, that's
At
all
19,
right. See, no. See, now you're trying to flip. You twisting shit because now you're trying to take points away from Jay-Z being 19 and comparing him to Mace at 19.
that's
No,
my,
so
my
I can
point.
compare. I compare Mace to Nas. Then
Mason, you can do that because
why?
Nas blew up. You just did. You said Matter came out. He was
Bro,
what 20?
their trajectories are totally different.
But
Totally different.
that's
Mace
fine.
had a buildup, bro. Jay-Z didn't have no buildup to Reasonable Doubt. It was like it wasn't no like yo, he was doing that shit on his own. Mace had a machine behind him. Jay and
Okay.
them niggas had to make their own label.
Even if listen, I just said you didn't mention DMX either. DMX, I mentioned Eminem.
Max
None of
had a
the
buildup.
yes, but even with Eminem, it's not just a machine. He needed a producer behind him. You needed the right people behind you, and you also have to learn how to adjust as a rapper. Mace had it figured out on the rap side at 19. He listened to whoever it was. He had it together. That's the whole point. That's a fact.
He
And he
had
came
people
out with a
behind
good
him.
album at 19.
He
It
had
doesn't
people
have to be right
behind him.
behind.
Yes, it
Okay.
does.
Okay. But the point is that he's 19 and he does this. It's not a whack album by any stretch.
I ain't say it was a whack album. It's not a
Okay.
classic.
All right, but you have enough people out there to say that it's a classic to go, is it a classic?
If you gotta question it, like you said, if you have to question this album being a classic, then it is. Because what other albums do you don't? I've never heard anyone have a conversation about hip hop and I might be wrong. I've never, as far as I know, in like the Twitter space, amongst my people on the block, between even me, you, and Mel, we've never brought up Harlem World when we talked about regards to classic albums. Never. Not one time have we ever, in the 3 years me and you known each other, 3 and change years, on Marco Polo, we have never mentioned fucking Harlem World at one time. When?
And I would have said, I used to say it was a classic. I used to say SD Cameron's first album was a classic. We used to love it
Professors of
that
Fire?
we used to love it that much.
I loved it, but I knew it wasn't a classic, bro. It's the same thing, and this goes back to War Report. I love War Report, but I know it's not a classic.
And that's where you slip up.
That's not why I slip up. You crazy, bro. You're not comparing the infamous Illmatic.
Yes, you are.
Fucking not.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are comparing the infamous and whatever other we just said it. We call it Army Fatigue rap. CNN's first album, War Report, is up there with everything. And
Bullshit.
It's not. Mobb Deep has better hits, but in terms of a whole album, that first album, that War Report album, is
not better. It is not better than the infamous. You are smoking rocks.
It doesn't have to be better. All it has to do is be a classic. It made it.
Bro, it was never held in that regard.
That's not true. That's not true. Once again, if you need, how many people do you need to consider it a classic if it's not even that popular of an album? That's not fair. Now I can see why you say, if you use that same argument for the Mase shit, that was popular enough to go, yo, ain't enough of you out here to consider it a classic, bro. This album sold 5 million records, and it's only like 5 you saying it's a classic. Now I can see why you say
with those singles on that album. Yes, he was going to sell. Mase was going to sell what he sold. You know what I'm saying? That was going to happen. The singles, that's what keeps the cash registers ringing. That's gonna sell you your album,
right?
But a lot of the other cuts on this album,
that's okay. That's fine. What I'm saying is, there's not, for you, the percentage of people that listen to this album that were able to consume it, ain't enough of them calling it a classic for you to be like, this is a classic. It's just not. For the War Report, I want to say damn near 8, 9 out of 10 people that listen to it call it a classic.
Nah, bro, you're not. Listen. It's a cult class. It's a New York classic album. I love that album. I love it. I know the lyrics. I know it.
But what else is it supposed to be? It's a New York album.
It's not a classic album. It's not. You're not comparing. All right, listen. You're not talking about. It's not in the same. It's not in the same conversation as the Doggy Style. It's not the same conversation as the Illmatic. It's not the same conversation as the infamous. Yeah, you can compare it because of where they came from and how the album is, and yeah, use Army Fatigue rap or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, it's a street album. Like, yo, if you were in New York City at that time, like TONY, that was the shit. But it's not, bro. It's not up there with the infamous Illmatic, Only Built for Cuban Links. It's not, bro. It's not.
The only reason, and that's another thing. All those other albums had a great producer on behind it. The War Report doesn't have that genius producer behind it, and it's
Tragedy.
Tragedy's not Havoc, and he's not RZA, and he's not Dr. Dre. He's not Puff.
So all right. So okay. So what are you saying?
What I'm saying is they didn't have that, and it's still considered a classic.
Nah, bro.
You're gonna find
Capone was locked up most of the time. He was hardly on the album.
He's 3 songs.
So Nore had to carry a lot of that weight.
Right. Okay.
But that album's not a classic, bro. It's not.
You're one out of let's say it's 2 out of 10. I say 8 out of 10 people who like who listen to, because everybody don't listen to that shit.
So you know what? If you want to go by that, go post a poll up on Twitter.
I don't have enough of a following.
So then I'll do it. Yes. I'll do it. It's a cult It's a cult classic, bro. It's a cult classic. It's culturally the culture in New York City that we grew up on. Like, yeah, like you could say that. But outside of New York, the War Report is not considered. It's not held in regards as the infamous outside of New York. It's not.
I don't know about that. And
I know about that. Okay, I'm telling you.
But again, you have Havoc and you have these producers that were able to make a song that expanded the listeners or the viewers or whatever of that album. The War
Yo,
Report was
listen, I don't care who produced what. If the shit is dope, it's dope. It's dope. That shit. Listen, it was joints on there. That's ill. That I love. That did near and dear to my motherfucking heart. The body of work overall, from the beginning to end, is not a classic. How many classic songs you think is on War Report?
how many songs on there? 14.
I mean, I can name two that are like, yo, like this is like, I don't care who you are, like outside of New York, this is a classic.
It's timeless.
Two of them.
That shit makes me want to get the entire album makes me want to get a 40 ounce from any liquor store,
Bro,
from any
I
corner.
love. Listen, I love that album.
Anywhere.
I mean, it has it has a lot of meaning for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
The
had to,
album, the
yeah, the
album,
album.
album makes me want to cop army fatigue pants and Timbs in 90-degree weather in fucking New York City, and
Yo.
with a hoodie.
Yo, I mean,
You know what? Even if it's not 10 out of 10 songs, it's not the Illmatic. Infamous is not Illmatic. Where you guys make
nah,
this shit from, man?
it's not Illmatic. No, a lot.
So
There's no album like Illmatic. It's yeah, that's Illmatic. All right, let's not even say Illmatic. Let's just say whatever other album besides Illmatic you consider a hip hop classic. Like this is the consensus classic. Like I don't care if you're from New York, you from Cali, you from down south, Midwest, whatever. Like yo, you know, Doggy Style is a classic. I don't care. We were playing that shit in New York. My mom bought that album first week. We were playing Doggy Style. Doggy Style was a classic.
But I'm again, see, and that was my point before. Do you
Okay.
know of any E40 classics? Any Too Short classics?
They're classics in their region. Like, cause I motherfucker from Oakland, from the Bay, would tell you, yo, E40 got classics. A nigga in New York or in Florida will tell you different.
Okay, then. So then you're not qualified to ever consider E40's albums not a
I'm from
classic.
New York. I'm from New York City, Ray. I'm qualified to tell you that the War Report is not a classic.
All right, that point was you won that one. You got that point.
So listen, I love the album, son. I love the album, bro. And Bloody Money, the first Bloody Money is my favorite. That and TONY are those are the two standout classes. And then of course, got the controversy with LA. But yo, Iraq See the World is my shit. That one makes me that one is near and dear right there. What else? Halfway Thugs, Illegal Life. Like listen, I
Iraq,
love the album. I love the album, bro.
Iraq See the
Live
World.
on, live long.
Yeah, Iraq. That's one. Iraq See the World. The world see Iraq.
Yo, son, I can't. I gotta be real with you, son. Like,
Nah. You are disrespectful. Knock it
nah,
off.
son.
Knock it off. Enough of your bullshit, bro. I can understand your Harlem World beef. You're not gonna run into 8 out of 10 people that listen to.
All right, so what album do you prefer to listen to? Harlem World or the War Report? You don't gotta answer that. They totally two different albums, man. That's two different moods. Cause one makes you want to go put your fatigues on, go rob some, drink a 40 on the bench. The other one make you want to go get bitches, get fly, hang out.
I'm older now. I'm older now. I can't even have that with the kids. I can't play that album around my son or my daughter right now.
Parole violated fugitives on the run, son. Live by the gun, son. Die by the gun, son.
They don't even have a Havoc. What he say? He did the drums and that was it.
Yeah.
Listen, it's still an incredible effort by Queens all day. By the way, still an incredible effort. They kept the They were anti-shiny suit before everybody else. They set the tone.
Yes.
They changed the momentum. They changed the momentum. So,
yeah.
Are we done with that?
Yeah, we done with that. So Harlem World. Harlem World's not a classic.
No, that's not a classic.
Okay. All right. Moving on. Oh, that was funny. Any
But
other spirited topics?
I'm not spirited about the one with the Jay-Z and Nas features. I got like you got 20 seconds of my commentary on that.
Oh my God! I mean, we don't have to talk about that. I think we spoke enough on it on the IG live. But if you want to do it for the sake of the podcast,
Nah.
that's fine. So I'm gonna say it anyway. I have the 5 Jay-Z and Nas.
Whoa, I do have. Wait, okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Number 5 is probably the worst one they have together. It's BBC from Magna Carta. Pause on the name. It's Billionaire Boys Club, not what what everyone else thinks. Like, yo, what the fuck? BBC? What the fuck out of here? Jay was wilding. It's my least favorite Jay-Z album, Magna Carta. There's some gems on there, but that Jay killed his verse, but it just Jay said that was the most fun he did doing a record in a long time because it was Nas, Jay, Justin Timberlake, Timberland, Pharrell, and Swiss Beats all in the studio. They're all on the hook, and then Beyonce's in there. They were just having fun doing that record, but it's not the greatest Jay-Z and Nas feature. That's number 5. Number 4, and I had flip flopped because Friday I had said something different. Number 4, I actually had "Sorry Not Sorry" at number 4. That's the new joint they had on Khaled album. I do it for hip hop as number 4 with Ludacris. Nas kills it. Luda kills it. I didn't like the Jay-Z verse. I know he was paying homage to MC Shan and just old school rap. I get it. You know, he paid homage to Kaz and all those guys, but it felt underwhelming. I don't know. It just felt weird as a song to me. Even then, I mean, I was happy they did it because it's Jay-Z and Nas on a record at that time. It was dope. But yeah, that's number 4. Number 3, I just said it. Sorry Not Sorry. Basically, it's Jay and Nas. Both of these dudes, multimillionaires, billionaires, angel investors. They're they're basically on this track over a lush beat. Wasn't the biggest fan of the beat, but they're just talking about the spoils of their riches, or the spoils of their success. It's crazy that we talking about Jay-Z and Nas all this time from back then, from the 90s till now. These dudes are still relevant. They're still doing it. Even though they probably took a step back lyrically to some people, they're still better than most of the people that's still spitting right now. So yeah, this track I got it at number 3. It was a few ill lines, but it wasn't the craziest lyrical spot. They were just basically sitting back with some laid back shit. You know what I mean? You know, talking about, you know, their current situations. Number 2, man, number 2 and number 1, they can go flip flop. They can flip flop. Number 2, I got Success in number 2. And it was crazy. Success is probably their best song. Success is probably their best song together. The best beat they probably rapped on together. I think I said the chemistry. Not really. I mean, I just thought that one came out after Black Republicans, and it wasn't like it was anticipated. Like it came out with American Gangster. Like Jay just put it out there. Like it wasn't like, yo, I got a Nas feature on this album. We were like, oh, it's gonna be another Nas and Jay-Z feature. So the hype wasn't there like it was, and I just felt like it just felt more authentic than how maybe the hype of Black Republicans was. But Success was ill, man. Both Jay and Nas just killing it over that beat, over that No ID beat. Um, I love that Nas like takes a dig at Jay on the track. I mean, it's not really a dig, but it's like, yo, it's the situation. Worst enemies, you know, best friends want to be enemies. Like that's what sin. Worst enemies want to be my best friends. Best friends want to be enemies. Like that's what sin. I don't give a fuck. Walk inside the lion's den. Yeah, like that shit was ill to me. Like he said, and the Jay has the sarcastic laugh at the end of the verse. So I got that number 2, and then number 1, Black Republicans. As much as a lot of people don't like Black Republicans because of the hype, because that was the first time after they squashed the beef. the hype was much higher than what the song was. And I think people's expectations was just the bar was set so high. So whatever they were gonna do, it had to live up to everyone's expectations, and it didn't. A lot of people were disappointed with it. I think Jay and Nas both killed it. Jay obviously talking about the Haven on his verse, talking about something real, the situation, dudes hustling in the street and money getting between friends, and just things that happen. With dudes hustling in the street. Nas' point of view is from the kid from the street, from the hustlers, overcoming the odds, making money. You know, so I got that number one. So that's my J and I's top five. Yeah.
You don't have didn't they do We Major?
Nah, that's just Kanye and Nas.
Okay, I thought they did a remix.
Nah.
So
There's one song there's two songs that they actually on together, but it's not like they actually on it. Like they had the joint back in the day with on was the Lord Tariq album. Lord Tariq had a solo album. The joint called what's the name of the song? Damn. And Jay and Nas both spit. But they
did
were
they?
caught. Yeah, they weren't in the studio when they did it. Jay has a verse. I have the usually was oh man.
I
I
thought that
have it.
I thought that
What?
didn't come out.
It came out.
Oh, so then I heard and I just like deleted it from when we was
Yeah.
back.
That was Lord Tariq joint.
We used
Um
to use, LimeWire.
yeah,
Um,
that's when LimeWire was popping.
it
But
was either that or
yeah, they had that, and then they had the joint with Jeezy. My President is Black. Nas is on the original, and then they had the remix with Jay. I mean, but it's not official. But yeah, they Jeezy did put both verses on there. But yeah, other than
the
that,
last
yeah,
the last time we heard we talked about this before because it was when Jay-Z dropped with Nipsey, and then Nas had the EPMD song, which I think might be better than the
nah,
Jay-Z song. I like the beat better. But what we did say that night was like, yo, they gotta drop an EP. And
yeah,
they're probably laughing at anyone who thinks that Jay-Z is trying to like smudge Nas's what do you
stupid
call
as
it?
shit.
His I don't think it's stupid. I think there is credence to it. I think
Why,
Jay
why, why so?
because Jay-Z's a petty
Now
dude.
still,
No, within the last 15 years. I think there was credence to that.
all right. I mean, I could go through the timeline of the bullshit that people said. Oh, he dropped on the same day again. The
I don't
line, motherfuckers considered Beyonce and Disney dropping the Lion King and them putting out the soundtrack, the gift, which Jay Z had one verse on, as people taking away from Nas's hype.
right. No,
No,
no. By then it was I think Jay-Z kind of done with that.
yeah,
But we did want to hear them. There had to be a time period when he was doing that. And it started with the MTV thing, Unplugged, same day.
Unplugged dropped the same day as Stillmatic.
Okay, so it started with that, but it had to have ended because they ended the beef, and I think they had to be over it because they're both millionaires, billionaires apparently. Nas, we don't even know what he is, and it's even with the dig with I don't know if this guy MC Search has a beef with Jay Z or what, but he reconfirmed the whole thing.
Yeah, you
He
don't
was
like
like,
Jay.
I don't know.
I mean, just me looking at it like just because I've seen him on two interviews. Just the vitriol, like this, he's mad at that situation, that line that Jay said. But the way he talks about the situation, he sounds very pissed off still.
So
It,
you know what? Now that you say that, I can see why. Because for that line to be that line, it's like, yo, you saying that I fucked over a black dude, and he specifically says that. He said you're saying another Jew fucked over another black guy, and I never wanted to be that guy. And maybe he does feel a certain way, but I think that's a simple conversation because he doesn't sound, you know, but it's still he's almost 50 years old talking about it that way. It was like maybe it's drink champs, maybe he was drunk.
right,
He's allowed
maybe.
to talk like that.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
either way, I think they could laugh about that. With Nas saying I own a piece of your publishing, they could
Of
laugh about
course.
that. They're both probably going to be involved with a whole bunch of investments, man. Like
Yes.
that relationship, and it's funny because nobody liked that Drink Champs Nas episode. And
No.
tragedy, when Tragedy was on Drink Champs, he pointed out, he's like, yo, I would have asked him, how did you meet Ben Horowitz? That's exactly what I would ask Nas. What was that like? Like, did you realize what that was when you met him? He probably say no, but I just want to know, like, like Ben Horowitz is part of the founders of Andreessen Horowitz and part of the reason why he went into this Coinbase thing. So the fact that he's involved in all this shit is crazy. The fact that him and Nas are probably the two best rappers alive and two best rappers of all time, according to you. And I would
Yes.
have, probably bump them up now. So if the album did come out, would we want to hear this fantastic? Because I really wasn't impressed by the song. I thought Nas was okay. I thought his flow wasn't as fluid. Jay-Z sounded more fluid to me, but even then, it's like I never really care when Nas talks that hype shit like that. Like I like his storytelling ability,
I
and
mean,
they
that's
both
one of his strengths.
yes, his superpower. If
Yeah.
they, but I would be in it. They would garner interest from us. Like the kids ain't gonna care. They're just not gonna
Yeah, they're
care.
not gonna care. Yeah, and I don't give a fuck. Listen, and yo, not even just the kids. It's people our age or above. They just based off the body of work, the 5 songs that they actually did together. People like, oh, I don't want to hear this. They don't have no chemistry. Like, I just don't want to hear a whole album with them. And there's people are just pure Nas fans, like fuck Jay Z still. And then there's Jay Z fans like fuck Nas. And I'm like, yo, as a fan of hip hop, you cannot tell me you're not gonna sit there and listen to this album. You gotta listen to the album. I don't care who you are. You're gonna play that album. You can't sit there and be like, nah, I ain't gonna fuck with that Jay and Nas shit if they put out something.
But
You you
how
what?
many people even say shit like that as a fan of hip hop?
You'd
Who
be
the fuck?
surprised, bro.
How old are they?
They're like our age and older.
Okay,
Bro,
that's it.
look at the timeline. Like go search Jay Z and Nas album. And Hit Boy had kind of sparked it. I mean, besides the song coming out, them doing the Khaled joint, Hit Boy kind of like sparked that. Like, yo, would y'all want to see a Jay Z and Nas album? And people went crazy, it went viral. It's just people were like, oh nah, I don't want to see that. Like, yo, what they had, I don't want to hear it. They don't got no chemistry. I don't want to hear a whole album or EP with them. They're bugging.
I can agree to that. I think their chemistry is, or because you know what it is with them both. They
Mm-hmm.
both try to be way too cool.
Too cool
You,
for school.
yeah, you can see him when the Khaled. I like that Nas said like, "Yo, I heard your verse. I had to change mine, whatever." But it was still like Yo, Gilly the Kid broke down Jay Z the most hilarious way. He goes, I could look like Jay Z in every picture. You just gotta act like you don't want to be there. That is
Yo,
every
and that's
Jay-Z.
that. Yeah, it's real though.
But Nas, they both have that same. Nas is just so much more low key
Yeah,
that you don't realize it, and he's not out in the public as much at
he's
all.
always been like that though.
Right,
Nas,
right,
always.
right. But both of those styles, like that's why Jay Z and Biggie album makes sense because you
Of
have
course.
two different styles. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now,
A Pac and Nas album would have been crazy because it's both
that
one is loud, one is
yeah.
laid back. But when they're both laid back, it's like this is gonna be boring.
Yeah, I would hope, and just for the sake of me being a fan, I would hope that they hear all this talk because a lot of people think they can't do it because of like the chemistry. That's being the biggest factor. I think if they really wanted to fucking do this shit, they will fucking murder this shit. Like just for the sake, like yo, we done everything. We can record any type of album we want. We can experiment any type of album we want to do at this point in career. Who's gonna say what we did it all as solo artists? We've done collab albums with other people for just the sake of like, yo, fuck this. We're gonna do this shit. Just put that shit out there, man. Put it out there. Like, I
I,
mean, what?
I'll listen to it. I'll listen to it.
Of
I don't know.
course.
I went back to the Nas album because it was Grammy nominated and everything, but I don't like I said the 444 album. I do not listen to. I don't like none of this. The last. And you know what? I forgot who just said. I think it was MC Search said it again. He's on Drink Champs. Once you're past 30 years old, you tend not to listen to new things. It's only like 2% of the people above 30 that listen to like you. might listen to the new stuff. Me, everything I listen to is nostalgic. Oh, damn
Yeah.
near.
No, and you know what? I get it. Cause I no, trust me, I'm that way too. But I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. Cause I try to see like, all right, I see everyone talking about this shit. Like, what are they like? Let me see what the buzz is about. Like, you know, what I mean, I hear about Conway and his albums, and you know, Griselda always dropping all these albums and stuff like that. You got dudes like Mac Hami, and there's a lot of artists that you know been dropping shit lately. And it's like, yo, the shit is ill, but it's like I'm not bumping it. I'm not playing this shit every day. Like I don't see what everyone else is or hear what everyone else is hearing. Like I hear it and it sounds ill, but I'm like, is it? I don't know if is it my attention span or it's just like this shit ain't what the shit I'm used to. Like this ain't the shit like yo, this album's like oh I gotta play this every day. Like it's some J Big and Nas shit. Like it's not the same for me. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just old.
Yeah, I don't. It's like what are they? It's like they trying to redo whatever they like. They would cryptocurrency Scarface is like, all right, it was
Nigga, you
cool.
just said that shit was ill the other night.
I'm in between. I'm just like,
You
did I?
just said that shit was. You say you like that shit Friday, bro.
I don't know if I like it. I like. I'll say, all right. I didn't give my take
That's
on it.
no, but you know what? That's fine because you're human. Like, yeah, you're allowed to. Like, you know what? Day to day. Like, all right, you know what? Friday I felt that way, but you know, it's fucking Monday. I don't fuck it. It's all right.
No, I'd rather you call me out. Don't do that. Don't please.
No,
Don't.
but no, but see, but nah, I'm not trying to cater to you. I'm just letting you know that fucking that shit happens because you can feel a certain way about certain music or certain piece of art one day, and then fucking shit happens within that 2 day span or whatever weekend. You're like, yo, you know what? It's all right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think I
it
like Jay's
happens.
better. Especially, you know what the line that's probably overlooked is kill. We say kill a god, you create a religion unexpectedly.
Yo, that line is crazy.
Yeah, that was like, oh, okay. I like Jay's verse better on that song, and I like Jay's verse on most of their collaborations. I want to say, I don't know if Nas got the one up on any one of them, in my opinion.
I used to think that Nas got Jay on Success, and then I said that on Twitter, and the whole vengeance, my peoples, it came from
No, no, no. Jay Z
yeah
murdered. That was
Jay.
one
But then I'm like, yo, nah, Jay killed that. Cause then like my favorite line is in broad daylight or off your on switch. You not too bright. Good night. Long kiss. Bye bye. My reply. Blah blah. Blast burner and pass burner the ta ta. Like nigga, what? And then he incorporated the scene in American Gangster when Denzel killed Idris Elba. Like, cause he asked for the change or whatever. That shit was ill. I'm like, all right, yeah.
all right. That's enough Jay Z love. I'm
He's
done.
a fucking hater.
I'm not a hater. I just hate the whole vengeance shit. It's disgusting. Like I don't know anybody likes Nas like that. It's crazy.
Nah, niggas, what? Yo, son, listen, let
Like
me tell you
this.
something.
Here we go. All right, I'm done. All right.
Nas is a god to certain people, especially people that don't like Jay Z.
Name a
You know what
rap.
it is? It's weird because it's like, yo, if you're anti Jay Z or if you're anti like Mase or just that pretty boy rap or there's like that flashy shit, you usually gravitate towards Nas. And I don't. It's weird. I'm not saying everyone's like that, but it's a big distinction. Like, all right, it's a good chance that if you're a Nas fan, you know, there's a certain amount of certain artists you like more than other artists, and certain people fall into that category. And I see it a lot, especially online, especially in the online chat rooms, man, especially social media.
For me, again, it's Jay Z makes easier music to listen to, and that's intentional. And Nas obviously was trying to be experimental,
Mm-hmm.
and he still got classics and everything. He's a just beyond a legend, one of the best musicians of all time.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But it's it's still like I can't listen to like my daughter might not. If she gets into rap, then I can play it for her and my
Mm-hmm.
son. But I can't. My family ain't. But Jay Z songs are he has that many classic, family friendly or just eventful songs that you can
Yeah.
everyone can listen to. The hits. I don't know if Nas has that many. And even though I might like as many Nas songs as Jay-Z songs, possibly,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
I get it.
I gotta go.
Okay, yo, this is ill. This is a spare the moment put in perspective podcast. We did this shit on the fly. This shit was not planned. We just said fuck it, we did it. And we did it. All right. We did it, Raymond. um Yo, that's the Patron talking. Yo,
Oh, I forgot you were drinking.
yes, sir. Signing off. It's your boy BMad. Another one in the books. My brother from another. Raymundo Telemundo. Hit your SAP button. This is Put in Perspective. Hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube. Please hit our link tree. We on Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts. Check us on IG. Please show love, and we'll show love back. Peace and love to everybody, man.